I was sitting in my room, scrolling through social media, when Mom knocked on the door. I could already tell by the look in her eyes that she was up to something. It wasn't the first time she had a wild idea, but nothing could have prepared me for what came next. "Hey, sweetie," she started, her voice carrying that playful tone she used when she had something planned. "I've been thinking, how about you help me with something fun today?" I raised an eyebrow. "Fun? What do you mean?" "Well, you know how you always say you're open-minded and willing to try new things." She smiled as she held up a dress, a gorgeous red one that she had worn to a wedding last year. I stared at it, confused. "Ah, yeah. But what does that have to do with anything?" "Just for a laugh," she said, holding the dress in front of me, almost daring me. "I challenge you to try on some of my clothes. It'll be fun. Besides, you could use a bit of fashion education. Who knows? You might look great in them." I laughed nervously, but there was something in her tone that told me this wasn't a joke. "You want me to wear that?" She nodded enthusiastically. "Come on, don't be shy. It'll just be for a few minutes. Think of it as a bonding moment between mother and son." Part of me wanted to refuse, but then again, part of me was curious. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. After all, it was just Mom, and it wasn't like anyone else was going to see me. It was a harmless little game. "Okay, fine," I relented, feeling my cheeks flush. "But just for a minute, okay?" Mom's eyes lit up with excitement. "Perfect. You'll look adorable." She handed me the dress, and I made my way to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. As I slipped out of my clothes and slid the silky fabric over my head, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. The transformation was startling. The dress hugged my body in a way I never imagined. I looked different. I didn't have much time to dwell on it before Mom knocked on the door. "Are you ready?" "Let me see." Reluctantly, I'd opened the door and stepped out. Mom's jaw dropped, and then she burst into laughter. "Oh my gosh, you look amazing," she exclaimed, clapping her hands. I rolled my eyes, feeling more than a little self-conscious. Yeah, laugh it up. Can I take it off now?" But Mom wasn't done. "Wait, you can't wear the dress alone. You need accessories. Stay right there." Before I could protest, she dashed to her room and returned with a pair of her high heels and some jewelry. She handed them to me with an expectant look. I sighed. "Seriously?" "Come on," she said, grinning. "Go big or go home, right?" With a heavy sigh, I slipped on the heels and fastened the necklace around my neck. The effect was even more dramatic. I wasn't just wearing a dress. I was fully dressed like a girl. Mom clapped her hands again. "You're a natural. Now, just one more thing." "What now?" I asked, dreading her answer. "You need a bit of makeup." "Just a touch," she said, already holding a mascara wand in her hand. I groaned but figured at this point, why not go all the way? Mom was having fun, and strangely enough, a part of me was starting to relax into the whole thing. Once she finished applying the makeup, I stood in front of the mirror again, and this time, the reflection staring back at me was barely recognizable. I didn't look like me anymore. I looked like a girl. Mom couldn't stop gushing. "You're beautiful," she said, snapping a few pictures with her phone. "I have to send these to your aunt." "What? No way. Delete those." I lunged for her phone, but she laughed and dodged me. "Oh, come on, it's just for fun," she said, smiling mischievously. "Besides, I bet your aunt will get a kick out of it." I was about to argue when suddenly, the doorbell rang. My heart sank. "Who's that?" Mom's eyes widened, and she looked just as surprised as I felt. I wasn't expecting anyone. Before I could hide, the door opened and in walked my cousin, Sarah, followed by her boyfriend. "Hey, Aunt Jen," Sarah started, then stopped mid-sentence, her eyes landing squarely on me. Her mouth fell open, and her boyfriend burst into laughter. "Oh my God, what are you wearing?" Sarah exclaimed, covering her mouth in shock. I froze. I didn't know what to say or do. I felt my face go beet red as I tried to stammer an explanation, but nothing came out. Wow, you went all out, Sarah's boyfriend joked, giving me a once-over. You look great. I was mortified. Sarah couldn't stop laughing, and I could feel the room spinning as I tried to make sense of what was happening. This was supposed to be a private moment between me and Mom, and now I was standing here, dressed like a girl, in front of my cousin and her boyfriend. Okay, that's enough, Mom said, finally stepping in to rescue me. We were just having some fun. It's not a big deal, but the damage was done. Sarah couldn't stop giggling, and her boyfriend kept making jokes. I excused myself as quickly as possible and rushed back to my room, peeling off the dress and tossing it onto the bed. I could hear them laughing from the living room, and I felt like crawling under a rock. I couldn't believe this had happened. How had a silly game with Mom turned into this? A few minutes later, Mom knocked on my door. Sweetie, are you okay? I opened the door just a crack. I'm fine, I muttered, though I didn't feel fine at all. Mom gave me an apologetic look. I didn't mean for things to get out of hand. It was just supposed to be a bit of fun. I sighed. Yeah, I know. But now Sarah and her boyfriend are never going to let me live this down. They'll forget about it soon, Mom reassured me. Trust me. In a few days, this will all blow over. I wasn't so sure, but there was nothing I could do about it now. Over the next few days, Sarah did bring it up a few times, but as Mom predicted, the novelty wore off quickly. Eventually, the whole thing became just another funny story we laughed about over family dinners. But for me, the experience left a lasting impression. What started as a silly prank had turned into something more. It had made me question things I hadn't really thought about before, like how society views gender and the roles we're expected to play. In the end, the whole thing wasn't as embarrassing as I initially thought. It taught me a lot about myself and about not taking life too seriously. And while I wasn't in any hurry to wear a dress again, I had to admit, I pulled it off better than I expected.